It's a
Big,
pretty one, though.
gracious rooms, really beautiful.
Yeah, high
Recording
ceiling.
in progress.
33, and I'm going to call the November 19th, 2025 meeting of the Development Review Board to order. So I have a couple of things to say first, and you're going to be taking an oath and getting some business out of the way, and then we'll get started. All right. So at the DRB, we hear applications for land development in the town of Brattleboro and appeals of zoning administrator decisions. Procedurally, the Development Review Board operates on the record. Broadly, this means that we take a clear record of testimony from the applicant and any interested parties, and then we issue a written decision with our findings. Applicants and members of the public should be aware that as we are on the record, this is your opportunity to comment on and provide evidence relating to an application. Application materials and written testimony is posted to the town's website as received. Hearings may be continued at the board's discretion if materially important documents are received after the submission deadline. In the event our decision is appealed to the environmental court, the court will not take or consider additional testimony at its hearing, but will look at the evidence from our hearings, the regulations, and determine if the evidence supports the findings and decisions of this board. Only interested persons that participate in this proceeding may appeal a decision made by the board. So I strongly encourage all of you to speak up at this hearing. As we are on the record, we're going to ask that you affirm your testimony will be truthful. So would the applicants and anyone wishing to speak tonight to an application, please affirm the following. I hereby affirm the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. Say I do, please.
I do.
Okay, anyone on Zoom? No, okay. Applicants require a majority vote of the full board to proceed. This is 4 out of 7. We do have a full board tonight, and I'm going to, let's continue this. After taking testimony, the board will close the public hearing and may vote on your application. The board will issue a written decision within 45 days of the close of the hearing. While we may vote on an application, it is the written decision that controls the timeline for appeal. It should be noted that the town of Brattleboro is a party with an interest in land development applications. The town does not have a special status before this board. Documents provided to the board by the town planning department, town attorney, and other town departments will be considered in exactly the same way as information from the applicant and other interested parties. So, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 17th?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
So, Brian, has this meeting been properly warned?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest or ex parte communications? No? Okay. So we are one member down, and I would like to appoint our alternate, Maya Hasagawa, to sit on the board for both of the applicants for this evening's meeting. Okay, so the first case is 2025-99. I think that's you guys, the Butler application. And you want to take a seat over here and tell us about your project.
Still waiting for the permit to get my home set up. And the home is already at Glen Street.
Okay,
And it's sitting on, being stored right now until I can get it permanently put on 109.
I can give additional information.
thank you.
This is a conditional use because it's a flood hazard application, but this is an existing pad and an existing mobile home park, so there's special protections under state law serving those pads, even if they're somewhat out of non-conformance. There's exceptions, like you cannot rebuild in the floodway, but this is not in the floodway, it's in an area of shallow flooding.
Mhm.
There's a draft elevation certificate showing that they will in fact meet the elevation standard. They will have to have a surveyor complete elevation certificate after the home is installed. And Tri-Park is aware of that, and they try and organize. They have some folks working on a project at Mountain Home Park, so they'll see if they can do this as well. There's a specific standard in the flood hazard overlay district for mobile homes, and I have a draft decision of that outlines that standard.
Mhm.
I talked to the installer and got documents on the bracing system. It's a system that was used in Glen Park a number of years ago, so they're going to duplicate that type of installation. They're going to flatten the site because right now the existing pad starts high, dips and goes low, so they're going to flatten that by adding some crushed stone, which will secure it against scour. And then they're going to do a HUD compliant pad that will have the anchors, which will make it so it's resistant to lateral movement or flotation. So
Okay,
it's a good plan.
all right. Does anybody have any questions? Maya?
How will the, are there gonna be external tanks, like for propane or other tanks, and how will they be secured?
No? She says no.
No propane?
No, the home is all electric.
Okay,
Okay.
super. Any other questions? Tom?
Is the whole lot pretty level, except for, you know, the aspect that Brian meant
Everything,
to?
the old home has been removed, and my contractor has been to the site, and there's little strips of cement that he has to break up in order to fix it,
Mhm.
to make it level, because he's going towards my shed.
I guess I'm wondering, does the land that is associated with 109 like slope significantly upwards towards the back? Like, would that be beneficial?
It's kind of odd, it's flat, then there's a bump and it goes up about a foot, but it's generally, it drains.
So all that would be gained by pushing it back is like a foot, but with this elevation that they're going to propose, it's already quite raised.
It's barely in the special flood hazard area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll definitely be secure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Jordan? No? Okay. So I guess we need a motion to approve 2025-99 with the provision of the inspection. Can I have that?
Make the motion.
You make the motion?
A second?
Okay.
Can you say a bit about the inspection?
Hmm?
What's the inspection you're referring
Well,
to?
he'll have to go and look at it.
Oh, just for compliance.
Yeah, to make sure everything is anchored properly before the skirting is put on.
Okay. Does
We made a motion.
oh, okay. This is just a point of curiosity, so I don't need to ask it now.
Okay. All right, Catherine? Yes?
I said second.
Yeah, but are you,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Yeah.
okay. Steve?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
And Jordan?
Yes.
Okay, you're approved. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
When will I be able to have the home set?
Have your contractor call me tomorrow, and I understand he wants to get the slab going, so I think we can get everything signed tomorrow, and we should be able to start immediately.
even with the weather getting cold, it's not gonna affect the cement or anything?
You'll know what to do. I think you can add additives to it so it will still cure in cold weather, but we really want to see you get that poured as soon as possible. So call them up and tell them it's ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I want to see it with their own.
It was all in a hurry, and now,
Yeah, hurry up and
after
wait. I
waiting
know.
for months.
Oh, I was waiting to wait till spring anyway.
Yeah, there you get it.
This is better.
This is better.
Everything's set, so you can just start it. We'll give you a written decision and written, and I'll mail that to you.
We had a few, it's pretty straight.
Yeah, it is.
We had a few about the housing.
Okay, the next application is 2025-123, 895 Putney Road. Have a seat. Tell us about your project.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time. So yes, we're referring to the building that is currently at 895 Putney Road, which is occupied in one unit by Family Dollar, and the other unit is currently vacant. So I'm asking for conditional use approval for the vacant section. However, not contingent on Family Dollar remaining a tenant, which, would be beyond my control if I were to purchase the property. Within the vacant unit, there are two uses that the application includes. The primary use is what the town refers to as mini warehouse, interior.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, excuse me, Kevin Domenge.
Okay.
So interior mini warehouse is how the town defines this, but it's commonly referred to as climate-controlled self-storage. So my company, which operates storage facilities only in Vermont, we have 7 locations under a brand called North Star Self-Storage. We either purchase existing drive-up facilities, which are in need of repair, or more recently, we have purchased buildings much like this, which have 10,000 square foot or so vacant spaces, and we build out the interior with climate control storage. So that is the use for, their use request for this building. I'd be happy to answer any questions about climate control storage. But prior to that, there is a mezzanine area, which is about 1,500 square feet, which would be separated according to the requirements of the fire code and have its own direct exit, which would then be leased as a professional office, ideally to something like an attorney or architect or something similar. So that's the application, but I can answer any questions on the specifics of this project or our company in particular.
Okay, so there's a couple things that we noted, and you don't have a landscaping plan, which is required, and you don't have anything about lighting or signage. Can you talk about those things?
Sure. So because the building is already constructed and has been in use, the landscaping would stay as is. There is some shrubbery in the front on Putney Road, I believe. Beyond that, it's primarily asphalt. So I didn't anticipate any changes to that, if that's helpful. And
Not really.
Not helpful. Okay. All right.
Okay, one of the things that you're going to have to look at is a landscaping plan,
Okay.
okay?
The existing landscaping plan for this already permitted building
Yes.
would not apply, is that right?
There probably is not an existing landscaping plan for that building.
Okay.
The landscaping standards have changed since then, so you might need to do some additional plantings. I would anticipate street trees, and that would also serve as shade trees for the parking area. So probably pretty minor modifications, but it is something that has to be done.
Okay, very good.
Should we clarify if that's because, if you want to take a look at the, the land use regs yourself, I'm sure you can ask any questions of staff in the interim, but is that because this is conditional use or because of the substantial renovation making it major site plan?
It's because it's a conditional use, which is automatically a major site plan. And major site plans require
Yeah.
Okay.
a landscaping plan.
How about signage?
So there's currently a sign on the building for Family Dollar, and then previously, when this vacant space was a True Value hardware store, there was a sign specifically for True Value hardware store, both on the building and then separately on the adjacent lot, which is also currently owned by the same party. There is a street sign that's shared among multiple businesses. It would be both that street sign as well as the sign on the building, which was previously True Value. I do not have a signage plan. That was, I assume, would be a separate application that I would bring forward.
Well,
Okay.
you want to take a look at the regulations on signage
Okay.
and decide and put it in front of us
Sure.
for that.
Yeah.
And let's see, sidewalk. So I don't believe there's a sidewalk there, right?
There isn't, I think.
No.
Any plans for a sidewalk?
I did not anticipate installing a sidewalk. Is that a
Okay.
new requirement from the previous?
Mhm.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anybody else have any questions?
So, you have
Go ahead,
cars.
Brian.
What?
I don't want to interrupt that.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, just the Realtor wanted me to make sure on the record that the leasable space for the building is 20,000 square feet. I'm not entirely sure why that is important.
Okay. So, go ahead, Maya.
So, this is self-storage. People will park where, in the already existing parking spaces? And
So,
then,
yeah.
and then move their stuff across the parking lot? Or will there be provision for them to park closer to the door and move their
Yeah, that's
stuff?
a good question. So the front of the building has an entrance, which also has a fire lane going across it.
Yeah,
I would anticipate an entrance to the front of the building, but primary access for people loading and unloading would be in the rear of the building.
okay.
Currently, that is where Family Dollar takes deliveries. There's a awning and a ramp, and that would be designed as a primary entrance for tenants who are loading and unloading. For folks just coming in or, grabbing a small item, I would anticipate the front door would be adequate and safe, but, that's how we envision it.
So, what kind of hours does this have, and
Sure, yeah.
how's it secured?
So we have two locations which I would reference as similar to what this project would be. One is in Manchester Center, which we developed in 2021, and the second one that is similar is in Woodstock, which we developed in 2022. Both of those facilities have hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. None of our facilities, whether they're internal or drive-up style, have 24-hour service. It's just not something that we want. And I would see this being the same. I prefer not to be constrained to that if this application was approved, potentially bumping the closing time up to 9 p.m. or the opening time to 6 a.m. Might be fine, but we wouldn't go beyond those hours.
So, how's the building secured then?
Yeah, sure.
When it's
So-
closed?
Yeah, so we invest heavily in security, so beyond the CCTV and cameras that we have throughout, by the dozens, the entrance and exits are handled by access control. So the building tenants or the storage unit tenants would get an individual keypad, which they would enter, and that would open the door for them. The doors have alarms on them in the evenings, so after closing, maybe 30 minutes after closing, there's entrance alarms as well as motion sensors inside, to the extent that somebody nefariously decided to stay inside or accessed in the evenings. And then obviously we have all the requirements for fire.
Okay, so someone's monitoring your cameras around the clock?
I monitor them all day.
Okay.
Yeah. There's been some advances in CCTV, which I can elaborate on, but there are camera systems that have monitoring that create triggers where there is actually a central station which will then see what's going on and make a determination if they need to call the police, or they just call me, or they just speak through the camera and tell the person what they need to do. In this location, I would look to probably roll that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are there restrictions on what people can store in their mini storage units?
Yeah, so our lease, it abides by all the Vermont state self-storage regulations, but there is a specific clause which outlines what cannot be stored, which includes hazardous materials, flammable materials, oils and gases and things like that.
Food?
Anything toxic is in the lease as being
Yeah.
prohibited.
Okay.
When it's possible to when we see someone attempting to do that, sometimes people will reach out, they want to store an e-bicycle which has a large lithium battery.
Right, right.
We'll respond to them, that's not permitted, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about food?
Food is not, perishables are not permitted to be stored.
Okay, but canned food, like that sort of thing?
Well,
is
I
okay.
mean, yeah, I wouldn't classify that as a perishable, I would hope they wouldn't, but
Yeah.
I don't think we would prohibit canned food necessarily.
Okay.
But, yeah. We also do pest control for that matter, if that's,
Yeah.
of interest. I mean, Family Dollar next door sells perishable food, so the building itself is not gonna be without perishable food, but it's not prohibited, it's not prohibited for storage.
So the office space,
Yeah.
and how do the folks that are using the office space get to and from their offices?
Sure, so the plan that I provided in the application doesn't have an outline of the office space, but if you look at the plan, the floor plan of the self-storage, you'll see that there'll be a new designated entrance for a staircase that's in the back that leads up to the mezzanine level. There's currently an egress there, but it's not dedicated to that mezzanine space and staircase, so there would be a wall installed according to fire codes to ensure that it's a dedicated space and it would go right outside. So there's a staircase that's currently in place, which would be the
So the office people are going to be physically separated from the storage area?
entirely. Yeah.
Okay.
They wouldn't have any direct access to the storage. That mezzanine space, for what it's worth, does have some windows that currently look out to the warehouse space. Those windows would be enclosed, there'd be no visibility.
The current building, as it's configured, before you do any changes to it, those aren't garage doors, are they, on the front? Are they just like security, like gates?
They're roll-up doors.
Roll-up door, yeah.
I believe, as a hardware store, they probably store things like soil and stone.
Oh, it's like an outdoor shed,
I think
sort
it was
of.
like, yeah, so I think my guess is that they had some storage there that would roll up, and those would be things that they would sell from the parking lot.
Because one thing you touched upon was no exterior changes except for entryways. So I'm curious about at least the front entryway, what your envisioned change is, your proposed change, and then also if you're going to change those roll-down
I
doors.
mean, I'll probably refresh them.
Yeah.
I would replace the doors themselves, they're quite old, but there's no significant change planned for the front. The front entryway currently has 2 sliding doors, so as one enters, they enter a small foyer, and then there's a second sliding door. Standard for my business would be to remove that first door and have that open to a primary security door. Probably put 2 bollards in there to ensure that no cars are entering too close with lighting.
Okay.
So the office folks, they would be parking around the back?
I mean, I would, that's the most convenient access point. I mean, I could mandate that if that's preferred. I don't have a view on that necessarily, but yeah, that's the closest.
But that's the way they would go in and out?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna need to know about lighting back
Sure.
there and what you're gonna do about that?
I
Not
can-
now, I mean, you can give us a plan. You
Yeah,
don't
sure,
have to.
I'm happy to. And again, I didn't because the building is currently in operation, I didn't anticipate changing the lighting. So the only thing I would ask is there a specific type of light that the town would now require compared to what?
It's all in the van regs,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a lot.
So basically, we just want fully shielded light fixtures. They might already conform to that.
Right. Okay.
Something that we need to know
Yeah,
about.
of course, we would obviously comply with that, yeah.
Okay.
And I would ask the board to allow me to administratively review and approve of the lighting and the landscaping and the sign.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Will you be installing a bike rack? That is a requirement.
Sure. Yeah. Does it need to be in the front or the back?
I think it says within 200 feet of the
Feet,
entrance,
yeah.
but, which is pretty far, in my opinion.
But it doesn't have to, I mean, I don't have any preference whether it's in the front or the back.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tom, do you?
I'm guessing.
Well, there'd be a
the
lot more
back.
people entering from the front.
Well, yeah, but the people who are using the storage unit are carrying
Cars,
stuff.
usually. Yeah, no,
You
that's
know, I
interesting.
think it's the office people that would want to use the bike rack.
But if you have a small
Yeah, it's
item,
interesting.
you might ride your bike
Right,
up there.
might,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe someone just has their winter clothes stored there.
maybe.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting thought, because it's like,
Terrible.
there's potentially like 60 people coming in and out of the front, but if they're almost always using cars, but then 1 or 2 people entering through the back, but they aren't storing materials, so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in the regs, the
No,
requirement,
it's
and
conditional, yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
there's some added flexibility there.
We see, just for reference, the traffic is actually, you had mentioned 60, which, you know.
I'm just guessing, I didn't count.
Yes,
Yeah.
just for context, the traffic at our 2 other facilities, similar facilities, albeit in smaller towns, but the same square footage.
Mhm.
Basically, we see anywhere between 10 to 15 tenants a day. 15 would be a very busy day,
Mhm.
around a holiday on a weekend. And then on some days, it's as low as 4 or 5. So it's a very low traffic business, if you call it that.
That's when colleges open and close.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Any other questions?
Well, I'll just say, just to reiterate, Nora hit upon a lot of the points, and then Brian mentioned them too, but they're in that conditional use, like, permit document that you probably, I'd say from like maybe not knowledgeable of this stuff, some version of common sense perspective, you think if you're not making any outside changes, then you don't have to deal with anything on the outside, but there's reasons in the regs why that is so. But in that page, it has those like 18 subjects like lighting and landscaping and whatnot and traffic.
Sidewalks.
So that's all
Yeah.
there. And then the staff did a review, wrote a memo for us too, and that's actually on the DRB website, where you could ask them for it, maybe for a bit of more of a narrative.
Yeah.
And then it's in the regs document as
Yeah,
well.
no, it's
And then
my oversight. I will turn that around.
I'm just telling you all this so that way that way you're informed, and
Yep.
No, it's
that way you're
hard
not
to do.
relying just on what we're saying right at this meeting to like
Yeah.
come up with lighting and landscaping.
Yeah.
There's resources.
I
So-
have one more question.
Oh, sure.
Snow removal.
Yeah, well, I mean, currently with the retail store in place, there is a process for snow removal.
Mhm.
All of our sites have snow removed ASAP. Given the location and the traffic coming into Family Dollar, the lease that Family Dollar has with the current owner, hopefully potentially myself in the future, requires snow removal, almost immediately before opening hours. So that's the goal.
So you'll continue to do it the same way it's
Yeah,
being done
it
now?
is, yeah, like any retail store on that road, we need to make it accessible for the customers.
So there won't be like any on-site manager for this storage?
All of our facilities are unmanned. So
Unmanned.
there's not an on-site manager
Okay.
to answer the question. We do have staff that are available throughout the day at any point to go
Mhm.
to the facilities. And they do mandatory checks throughout the weeks, whether they're required or not.
Okay.
But we do not have staff on site.
Okay. But you'll know if any of the aisles are blocked or anything like that because you have the cameras,
Yeah.
right? It's something that you would be monitoring.
All
And
day.
so, yeah.
So most
So-
of my time, yeah. Yeah.
Brian?
Laura?
Yeah.
Are you going to be working with Efficiency Vermont or anybody else for energy conservation while you do your fit up?
I haven't reached out to them on this project. I work with an HVAC electrical installer that works throughout the state. They're Alliance Mechanical. And they typically will work with Efficiency Vermont to optimize, but it has not been a discussion that I've had thus far.
Great.
Jordan, do you have any questions?
The only question I have is about the sidewalk, and I just think that that might be a condition that we can put on, that we want to see conformance with that section 223D.
Right.
And also 223E, part 4. And that's that part 4 is the side, you have to connect the sidewalk to the front entrance with a crosswalk.
I'm just trying to envision how that would work with the current front entrance being primarily a parking lot. But maybe that's a discussion we could have separately.
Yeah, there's a standard where you just stripe it out across the parking.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? There's no public here today to ask, right?
Nope.
No? Or online. Anything else? All right, can I have a motion to approve and give to administrative oversight to lighting, landscaping, sidewalk, front entrance, bike rack, and I think that was it, right?
Are we putting everything under Brian, or
Yeah, I
some
think
things
so.
will-
Or do you not want to do that?
I think, no, I mean, the only thing that I've heard sometimes in the past is like, oh, the rest of the street doesn't have sidewalks, and it's
Right.
and that's a big expense, but it's just like, well, our land use regs are trying
Yeah,
to,
this
purposely
actually-
trying to move
Yeah, it has
things
a
in that
big,
direction.
this would be
Yeah.
a big slice of
Yeah.
sidewalk.
I'm just saying it
And-
because maybe there's some reason that they might want to
Well,
do a variance or argue their case. So, however, though, that actually is, I think, is just non-negotiable in our regs, right? So,
right.
That's my
so we're bound to it.
Yeah,
So.
that's the way I
Yeah,
read
and I
it.
think everything's pretty cut and dry, so
Okay.
we can just give it to Brian. But
Okay,
just wanted to make sure we were
all
clear
right,
about that.
so can I have a motion?
I so motion.
All right, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's go down. Catherine?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
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 Jordan?
Yes.
Okay. So you're approved with those conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll get your written decision, but I'll mail it to you in the next week or so.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Good night.
Good night.
Night. Okay, is there any other business?
Just thinking of the schedule for next year, I might take several weeks medical leave, and I'm not sure when that's going to be scheduled, but my inclination would be to cancel the meeting that month if the board finds that acceptable. And we'll circulate a draft schedule.
You mean you can't do it from your hospital bed?
No. Actually, for the first couple of weeks, I'll have to lie flat with my eyes closed and open them for 5 minutes every hour.
Wow.
I'm not going to be doing that.
No, you should
Oh,
not
my
be.
goodness.
No looking at a computer.
What are you gonna do? I mean, never mind, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
recording it. Oh, we
Books
are.
on tape.
Books on tape, thank you,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Where do you want?
Free pizza at the library.